If a man is over 50 and worried about nighttime bathroom trips, a weak stream, or the nagging sense that his bladder never fully empties, this may be the most important message he's heard in a long time, because there's a food many men eat almost every day without a second thought. A food most people assume is healthy may be harming the prostate right now. This isn't just a minor bad habit, it's the true silent enemy. And unless it's removed or drastically reduced, no medication, herbal supplement, or Kegel routine will deliver the freedom he's looking for. The truth? Prostate troubles aren't simply an unavoidable part of aging. In many cases, they've been fed slowly and steadily over decades by the wrong food choices. Dr. Emily Carter, a men's health urologist with more than 3 decades of experience, has helped men reclaim their health and peace of mind. She has worked with thousands of men who came into her clinic feeling defeated, exhausted, and embarrassed, convinced their restful nights and sex lives were gone for good. But when the focus shifts from symptoms to the biologic root causes of prostate inflammation, something remarkable happens. The body has an innate capacity to heal when given the right tools. And the most powerful tool to combat prostate growth isn't a pill or a procedure, it's what goes on the plate. Most men think prostate problems are just about age. That belief is not only mistaken, it's risky. In reality, there's a vicious cycle of inflammation and cellular damage driving the issue, fueled by a surprisingly common trio: dairy, red meat, and sugars. In this video, she reveals how these foods sabotage the prostate, shares a simple strategy she has seen work again and again in her clinic, and explains why cutting-edge neuroscience supports every word. Stay with her, this is more than a food guide. It's a map for taking back a life. 1. Understand what's truly happening to the prostate. She has sat across from hundreds of good men, family men, men who've worked hard their whole lives, looking her in the eye and asking, in tired voices, "Dr. Suss, what happened to me?" The voices are quiet, the confidence gone. They aren't just talking about running to the bathroom every hour. They're describing a loss of control, a new fragility they've never felt before. The worst part? Most assume it's just aging. "I'm getting old," they say, as if prostate weakness were as inevitable as gray hair. Here's what almost no one tells them. Chronic inflammation is the primary driver of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, an enlarged prostate. If it isn't addressed, any treatment is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The body is a complex biological system, and the prostate is especially sensitive to its environment. When men eat foods the body isn't built to handle, it triggers an inflammatory response. Prostate cells, trying to protect themselves, swell. Over time, that persistent inflammation leads to abnormal cellular growth, enlarging the prostate and compressing the urethra, causing all those aggravating symptoms. Many factors can contribute: genetics, stress, but there's a trio of dietary culprits that reliably fuels the internal fire. These aren't empty calories, they're biological triggers that activate the body's worst enemies from within. 2. The prostate's deadly trio. Dr. Emily Carter is direct. She's seen the same 3 food groups over and over in the diets of men with prostate trouble, and rigorous research repeatedly links them to inflammation: dairy, milk, and other dairy products. For years, milk's been sold as shorthand for health. But for older men, especially those at risk for prostate issues, dairy can act like a slow poison. Large reviews have found meaningful associations between high dairy intake and increased prostate risk. 2 reasons stand out. Excess calcium can disrupt hormone and vitamin D balance, and cow's milk contains growth factors like IGF-1 that can stimulate cellular growth, including in prostate tissue already prone to enlargement. This concern isn't about an occasional glass, it's about decades of steady intake. Red meat, especially fatty cuts and processed meats. High-heat cooking, grilling, pan-frying, creates inflammatory compounds. Add high saturated fat, heme iron, and cooking byproducts, and you have a direct path to systemic and prostate inflammation. Refined sugars, cookies, pastries, soda, white bread, anything that spikes blood glucose. These surges drive a body-wide inflammatory response that harms vessels and nerves and creates a hostile environment for the prostate. Think of these 3 as fuel for the inflammation fire. Eliminating, or at least sharply reducing them, isn't just smart, it's essential if a man wants to restore prostate health. 3. The evidence is irrefutable. When she talks with patients about the link between diet and the prostate, most are skeptical at first. How could a simple diet change be more effective than a pill? They ask. It's a fair question in a culture that worships quick fixes, but the science, her only guide, is clear and convincing. A meta-analysis in Nutrients shows that dietary patterns rich in fruits, vegetables, and fish are associated with a significantly lower risk of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, and its bothersome symptoms. Diets high in red meat, full-fat dairy, and saturated fats show the opposite, consistently. These aren't marginal effects, they're statistically meaningful differences in men's well-being, and the most powerful shift she's witnessed happens at the cellular level. Chronic inflammation underpins nearly all chronic disease, from diabetes to heart disease, and the prostate, with its dense structure and web of nerves and blood vessels, is particularly vulnerable. Remove inflammatory foods and replace them with anti-inflammatory ones, and the body finally gets a chance to repair. Think of it as giving the body a ceasefire from a long war. It can step out of constant defense and begin to heal. But this isn't just data. It's real men with real problems making a simple change and watching their lives turn. 4. A patient story, shared with permission. His name is Robert, a 65-year-old retired schoolteacher. Robert came to her clinic after months of prostate frustration, up as many as 5 times a night, exhausted by day, avoiding social life for fear of being far from a restroom. His diet was typical: a bowl of cereal with whole milk in the morning, a ham and cheese sandwich at noon, and red meat several nights a week. She asked him to change one thing: swap the whole milk in his oatmeal for almond milk, limit red meat to once a week, and increase leafy greens like spinach and kale. He was skeptical. "This seems too easy, doctor," he said. She asked for 30 days. She'll never forget the call 3 weeks later. "Doctor," he said, voice bright, "I only got up once last night and my stream is stronger. I feel more rested than I have in years." It wasn't just relief, it was amazement, as if a secret hiding in plain sight had finally been found. And it had. This wasn't a miracle cure, it was stopping the damage. Once he quit feeding the inflammation, his body could start to repair. Robert's story isn't unique. She's seen it repeat again and again. 5. The strategy for freedom. Men often do the right thing the wrong way and conclude nothing works. She's seen it with supplements, fad diets, even herbs. That's why she reminds patients, how matters as much as what. If you're going to use this strategy to restore prostate health, give your body the best chance to respond. Start simple. Don't try to change everything overnight. Pick one of the 3 enemies and remove it completely for 30 days. If milk is your weak spot, drop it and use an unsweetened plant option: oat, almond, or coconut. If red meat is the issue, swap in fish, chicken, or plant proteins. Replace, don't just delete. If refined sugar is your nemesis, cut soda, sweets, and white bread. Make it easy with fruit, sparkling water, and whole grains. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency. She tells her patients to eat more vegetables, especially those rich in antioxidants and lycopene like cooked tomatoes and broccoli. These superfoods aren't only anti-inflammatory, they've been shown to support prostate health directly. And here's the key most people miss. This isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment, about taking control of one's health. It's a daily ritual, a way of telling the body, "I'm with you, I'm taking care of you." And then she explains what many men can expect after 30 days, because the changes go far beyond bathroom trips, and they often surprise people. 6. What happens after 30 days? Something remarkable unfolds when a man sticks to one healthy habit. Not 5 or 10, just one. She's seen it countless times in clinic. A man comes in feeling defeated, skeptical, even a bit embarrassed. A month later, he returns with a different posture, clearer voice, and easier laugh. She can see it before he says a word. When inflammatory foods are cut dramatically for 30 days, it's not just the prostate. Yes, many men report fewer nighttime bathroom trips, a stronger stream, and a more complete emptying sensation. But that's only the beginning. What truly stands out is how the entire body responds. Energy returns, mental focus sharpens, and deep sleep becomes a reality instead of a wish. The brain fog so many chalk up to aging begins to lift. Men feel lighter, clearer, more connected to themselves. One patient told her he finally had the confidence to go to a football game with his grandkids without worrying about restrooms. Another said his wife asked if he'd started doing something different because he looked and felt happier. These aren't random anecdotes, they reflect real biological change. Less systemic inflammation means a healthier body. A healthier body means a healthier prostate, and a healthier prostate means regaining the freedom many feared was gone for good. The best part, perfection isn't required. No one has to overhaul life overnight. The body needs a consistent signal repeated day after day. That's the power of consistency. It compounds. But what if a man has tried everything and nothing would? What if he's afraid to hope again? She understands that deeply, and that's exactly why the next part matters. This isn't a trick, it's a foundation. Without it, even the strongest treatments can falter. 7. Why this is the foundation, not a quick fix. She has watched many men chase quick solutions, pills, surgeries, injections, hoping for instant results. When they don't work or stop working, the disappointment cuts deep. She sees them walk into her office with slumped shoulders, convinced they've tried everything and failed. The truth is that most quick fix approaches target the symptom, not the source. And that's where everything changes. The body isn't a machine you flip on when convenient. It's a living system that responds to rhythm, not random effort. Cutting inflammatory foods works because it strengthens the foundation, the very base prostate health depends on. It doesn't force an artificial response, it nourishes the body's natural capacity to heal. When men ask, why bother with diet if I can just take a pill? Her answer is simple. Pills without a foundation are like building a house on sand. They might hold for a while, but they won't last. Underneath, most men aren't just chasing a quick fix. They want to feel like themselves again. Steady, confident, in control. That only comes from rebuilding what time and stress have worn down. The beauty is, it's never too late. She has watched men in their 70s and 80s make real progress, not by doing anything extreme, but by committing to a small, steady habit their bodies could trust. That's the difference between managing a problem and healing it. And now that the why behind this powerful diet shift is clear, it's time to bring it all together. Because in the end, this isn't just about food. It's about you, your life, your legacy, and the kind of man you still have time to become. If there's one message she hopes lands, it's this. Your body hasn't given up on you. Even if you felt frustrated, embarrassed, or tired, there's still a spark in you. And sometimes all it needs is the right signal to come back to life. They've talked about what's really happening, how chronic inflammation from certain foods sits at the root of prostate problems. They named the trio of culprits, dairy, red meat, and refined sugars, and how they fuel that internal fire. She shared Robert's story, a man who thought his best days were behind him until a simple diet change helped him reclaim sleep and peace of mind. She walked viewers through how to use this strategy, how to make the habit stick, and what to expect after 30 days, not just in the bathroom, but in how they think, feel, and show up in daily life. And together, they explored why this isn't a trick or a trend, it's a foundation, a way of giving the body what it's been quietly asking for. She has devoted her career to helping men regain their strength, their connection, and their sense of self. And she can say with certainty, it's never too late to begin again. Perfection isn't required. No one has to change everything at once. Start with one simple change, and the willingness to believe change is still possible. It is. She's seen it. She's lived it with her patients. And now it may be your turn. This is more than advice. It's a daily reminder that you're alive, capable, and a whole man. The choice is yours. If this video offered hope or something useful, she invites viewers to like, share, and leave a comment below. She reads them all. Your voice helps this message reach more men who need it. If you'd like to support the channel so Dr. Emily Carter, urologist, Men's Health can keep creating honest, science-based content, consider a small contribution. Every bit makes a difference.